Touchdown pass. Prescott said he's not concerned and could have kept playing if the game didn't end. The Cowboys are entering their bye week now before playing my Vikings on Halloween, and now I'm not feeling so confident about that one. Shannon, on a scale of 1 to 10, how concerned should the Cowboys be about Dak's calf right now?
You should be embarrassed by this, Skip Bayless. You
Embarrassed?
Really should. Yeah, you should. This is a zero concern.
Really?
Now, he told you, had the game continued, he could have continued to play. Yet he show up in a boot. Now, the one thing I will say about the Cowboys, I probably would have liked playing for the Cowboys because they're going to get MRI on anything. Jerry, I got a toothache. Go get an MRI, make sure everything's okay. Jerry, I got a hangnail. Go get an MRI, make sure everything's okay. Because they MRI everything.
So does everybody.
No, not everybody.
Yes, they do.
The Cowboys do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I could see if they were playing on a Thursday night, this might be some calls for alarm.
Yeah.
I can see if possibly they were playing Saturday. Mm-hmm. But they got 2 whole weeks off. Mm. And Dak said, this is because I will give you guys something to talk about. Mm. That's what he said. I didn't say that. That's what Dak said. Mm. He's got a bye week. They play all the way Sunday night. And the concern? There is no concern. Dak told me he could have continued if he needed to. Mm. So for me, this is a big, fat nothing burger with all the trimmings of nothing.
Really?
Yes, yes.
What has the great Shannon Sharpe, Hall of Famer, repeatedly told me about any calf injury, any kind of calf pull or strain? What happens? Shut down. But scary. Almost as scary in the same ballpark with hamstring.
But Dak said it was nothing, Skip.
Okay.
And let me ask you a question. What player 6 games into the season doesn't have some nick? Because if you don't, you hadn't been playing, maybe the snapper.
What happened to Hall of Fame bound Zach Martin on Thanksgiving last year against Washington? He pulled a calf muscle early in the game, and he was done for the entire football season. What happened to Michael Gallup in game number 1 this year at GOAT? What happened to Michael Gallup? He pulled a calf muscle, and he's still out.
Right.
We are all the way through 6 games, and he's still out, and God help him come back in 2 more weeks.
But Michael Gallup did not come back into the game. Michael Gallup didn't say it. If the game continued, I could have continued to play.
He didn't come back in the game. It was over.
Yeah.
He came down, as he said, funny, and he limped off the field. And I watched him limp all the way up the tunnel to the locker room.
I watched him celebrate with his teammates before he limped up the tunnel.
They put a boot on it for a reason, because it's scary right now, because what is that calf muscle attached to at the bottom? It's the region in which he dislocated his ankle, a compound fracture. Am I right about that? And had a career-threatening 2 surgeries on that to fix it. Am I right about that?
Skip, they put a boot on your car if you're illegal parked. No. So am I supposed to believe there's something wrong with the car?
Compound fracture and a dislocation of the right ankle, and this is the right calf. And then what happened to Dak Prescott in training camp? He's trying to protect, because he doesn't want to swivel hip into the throw quite the way he should. And what happens? He weirdly pulls some kind of lat muscle in his throwing motion.
Right.
It's a baseball pitcher injury, and it was the first day of padded practice in camp. And what happened the rest of camp? He was shut down.
Right.
He played 0 preseason games, and I thought it was abominable.
Okay, but that was the preseason, which his services were not really required. This is a situation where this happened on a Sunday. They have a bye week. So at worst case scenario, he's going to get 2 weeks to properly heal. He'll probably be off the ankle. If there's anything, he won't do any participating. A lot of teams let the players go for the entire week. Okay, Dak's going to stay. You probably would want to stay, Skip. You don't want to run the risk of being around a big crowd of people and run the risk of getting COVID. That's the last thing that you want to have coming out of a bye, Skip, if you come back and all of a sudden you got COVID. So I believe Dak will stay in Dallas, get treatment. He'll be just fine. Stop trying to overreact, because I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to sell this. Oh, look what he did. He's got a pulled calf, a torn lat, and he's got surgically repaired ankle, and he threw for this. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to let you sell me something that I know doesn't cause what you're trying to sell it to me for. Okay? So stop.
I'm sorry. I was truly sick at my stomach last night when I heard, maybe an hour after the game, wait a second. He pulled his calf on the last throw of the game? You're kidding.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I'm sick of you trying to feed me this bull jive. That's what I'm sick of.
How is that bull jive?
Skip, the man just told you.
Well, why is Michael Gallup still out with what could be the same injury?
What could be? We haven't received the diagnosis of the extent. Dak said, I'm just going by what he said. Now, if it's a lie, Dak told it. He said, I could have continued had the game needed to be continued. He
said, because my adrenaline was high.
Okay, then.
Okay. Were you buying that? Or is he just being Dak Warrior? Is that just he didn't want to buzzkill the post game?
Well, I'm going to buy him instead of you trying to feed me some bull jive. How about that? I'll buy Dak.
I will give you this. Todd Archer reported on ESPN.com that a source said this injury is different from the calf strain that Gallup suffered. I don't know how you could know that with no MRI.
Okay, then why you said it's comparable?
MRI is soft tissue injury. You can 3D it, and you can see where the tear or the strain is.
Okay.
How could you touch? You can't put your hands on a man's calf and say it's different.
Well, yes, you can, because you can say, does it hurt? The different level, the different degrees, and you Skip, stop it. You do know.
I do know.
Well, okay, if they can't definitively tell if it's similar to the Gallup, why did you mention Michael Gallup then?
Well, because he's still out.
Okay, but how do you know?
That's scary. And Zach Martin missed the last, whatever it was, 5 games.
But you just said there's no way definitively for Todd Archer to know that the injury is the equivalent of Michael Gallup, yet you mentioned Michael Gallup when you said there's no way to definitively tell that there is.
Okay. My point is, my team is dead in the water if he can't go. You know it, and I know it. You've seen how valuable he is. He has been the $75 million man through 6 games.
Skip.
He has been extraordinary.
Skip,
In fact, we're going to talk about this later. Drew Brees went so far at halftime last night to say he is now a top 3 quarterback. Highly debatable, but Drew Brees, the great Drew Brees, said that on NBC last night.
Well, you and Drew Brees debate that amongst yourselves, because ain't nobody else having that debate.
All right, well, we'll get to that later in the show. But my point is, that's how valuable he is to my team.
Skip, there are 15 quarterbacks. So if Lamar Jackson is injured, are the Ravens still going? If Tom Brady gets injured, or if Patrick Mahomes gets injured, if Josh Allen gets injured, if Kyler Murray gets injured, Skip, I could do that about a bunch of quarterbacks. That's not unique to Dallas. You tried to make it like it's unique to Dallas.
We're 5-1. This is special. It won't be special without Dak
Let me ask you a question. If you don't mind me asking, what's the Baltimore Ravens record? What's the Rams record? What's the Tampa Bay's record?
Well, did they lose their first string quarterback, star quarterback? No.
Skip, you haven't lost yours either. Hold on. You just told me there's no way to definitively know if it's not as bad as Gallup. Well, if there's no way to definitively tell there isn't, how can you tell that it is?
I don't trust calves. When you pull them, they stay pulled for a while.
Oh,
you know it, and I know it. You've had the same.
I don't trust you. I don't trust you, because I know what you're trying to do. Okay. You're trying to build this up, and I'm not going to let you.
I'm not trying to build it up. I'm just horrified by the prospect, but undercut by the fact it did come at the perfect time, as Dak said, into the bye.
Guess what? You're going to be horrified because on Halloween, old first cousins got something for you.
Okay.
Show up at the House of Horrors and they got something for you.
Okay, you want to put a couple of cases on right now? I'll go straight up right now. I will take, if Dak Prescott is healthy enough to start that game, I'll take it for 5 cases right now. Well, you threw it out there. I didn't.
Skip.
I'm just responding.
This is the first time in 6 years the Cowboys won't lose the bye. So let's just let them rest.
Okay.
Let them enjoy. I want you to enjoy this moment. 5-1 heading into the bye week.
Yep.
Then next week we'll have plenty of time to talk about Minnesota and the Cowboys.
I'm actually trying to help you out.
I don't want no help.
Take you off the hook because you took the field against the Dallas Cowboys, TF the field in the NFC East, and you realize you are now 3 games behind.
I do.
You're buried. You are over. You are kaput. 3 games. I got you already. We're only 6 games in, and we're down 3 games.
Right now,
the Dallas Cowboys have won as many games as the whole division has won.
Yes,
5.
You got me on the run, Skip.
Yeah.
You got me on the run.
Are you ready to concede?
No. But I'm saying you got me on the run.
I'm trying to help you out. If there's no Dak, you got a shot.
Right.
You have a shot. It's probably still a long shot, but you have a shot.
That's why I'm not willing to concede, because there's still a lot of football to be played.
I was just trying to hand you on a silver
I don't want you to hand me
platter
nothing.
a little tiny ray of light of hope. Just a tiny ray.
No.
Yeah.
Big N, long O. No, I'm not conceding.
So we have a tricky game at Minnesota, and they have credibility, but I will bet you 5 cases right now. If Dak is healthy, we will win that game.
First cousin. First cousin,
really?
Dealey. He's dealing.
Andy Dalton went up there last year. Andy Dalton beat first cousins who look like fourth cousins in that game.
How he looking now?
He's lighting it up.
Okay.
Way to go. But I do not fear him.
And your defense can be had. You know that, I know that.
Occasionally we can be had. Then we get to come home and face Denver and Atlanta. That'll work, right? And then we go to Kansas City, and my homeboy, he's thrown 8 interceptions, and he threw one yesterday where I said, what are you doing?
And guess what? Even that with all those interceptions and all those fumbles, he still threw for 4 bills and 2. That just lets you know the explosiveness that he possessed.
So we still haven't played, obviously, Washington either time.
Oh, my goodness.
And we still have to go to the Giants. We have to go to Philadelphia. So they're tricky at best.
I mean, looking at this schedule, y'all might end up y'all might just have home field throughout.
You think so? So I predicted 12-5, but I thought they were going to lose at Belichick because I thought it was going to be a Cam game.
Yeah, so
Little did I know it was the rookie quarterback who was going to play. And the point is, my 12-5 is looking real good. And if Dak is okay, if he can get through this calf strain, if it's not a calf tear or pull, then I got a shot to be better than 12-5.
Yeah, you got a great shot. You're feeling real
now
good right now.
there's just a little bit of asterisk on it, a little bit of buzzkill, a little bit of party poop here.
You buzz killing it.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Because I know you're trying to sell it. You tried to upsell something that doesn't need to be upsold.
Well, I'm waiting to hear the results of the MRI. And they're not going to tell you the results anyway. Just wait and see.
I'm trying to, but you want to make it say, oh, he had a boot on.
Well,
he had a boot.
You should get down on your knees and pray that it's torn. Because
No, I don't want that to be torn.